Bubblegum Simulator Infinity used to be the largest game on Roblox, pulling hundreds of thousands of players, and was one of the most successful games in Roblox's history. However, just a few months later, it has now lost over 95% of its player count and is dying out really fast. And while many people thought the game failed for some simple reasons like people getting bored of it, it was actually much more complicated. And the thing is, the things that made this game fail are a bad sign for the future of Roblox. Games like Steal a Brain Rot or Grow a Garden may face this exact same fate. And so today's video, we'll be understanding why Bubblegum Simulator Infinity failed, along with what it means for the rest of the Roblox platform. This honestly gets really insane, and it's a lot more complicated than you may think, but real quick, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. It means the world to me, but either way, let's get right into it. Now you see, about 5 years ago in Roblox, simulators were absolutely all the rage. It was basically the most popular thing any developer could do, and every single simulator game was blowing up. In fact, people were actually getting angry at how popular simulators were, and there were a lot of big YouTubers speaking out about how boring the simulator games had gotten. But one of the forefront games that blew up so massively in this simulator craze was Bubblegum Simulator. This game was one of the first to really blow up massively and was one of the most popular games in Roblox's history for a good chunk of time. I remember back in 2018, 2019, I was playing this game and I was enjoying it a ton. But the thing is, just like every other simulator game, it eventually died out. Despite the fact it was an amazing game that people loved and had a lot of cool things to it, sadly the game just could not hold a player count. And the reason for this was just because people would end up getting bored of it. You see, in a game where your whole goal is to spend a lot of time working and grinding to become the best, what happens after you become the best? That's the main issue with these simulator games that started to become more and more visible over time. There are countless simulator games that I remember playing and loving, but I just got bored of so fast. There's so many that used to be extremely popular, but are basically at 0 players nowadays. And the thing is, this on its own is not always bad. Of course, people are going to get bored of a game after a while. It's very normal for people to move on to new things once they get bored of something. But where the issues started to crop up is the damages that these simulator games had done to the fabric of Roblox. Okay, I make it sound pretty crazy, but basically a lot of these simulator games were some of the first people inventing a lot of major pay-to-win things into their games. And while this isn't even the main issue, this is one of the main things that actually results in the death of simulators so fast, is these pay-to-win game passes and things people can buy to be better at the game and to be #1 on the leaderboards. As simulators developed over the next few years, Pet Simulator was one of the big games that first stood out and was one of the most perfectly made Roblox games in a certain way. It was made in such a perfect way that it got people very addicted and wanted to spend their money. Each of the Pet Simulator entries were extremely successful and viral, and the developers knew exactly what they were doing, so there wasn't really anything that challenged their success until the release of Bubblegum Simulator Infinity. You see, for a good 4 or 5 years, Pet Simulator was the most successful games on Roblox. They topped the charts on pretty much every release except the second one, which we do not talk about, but even the first Pet Simulator was a viral hit. Pet Simulator X was massive, and Pet Simulator 99, the sequel, was extremely successful. The massive success these games saw was honestly generational. Each of these games racked up billions of visits. And so now, flashback to early 2025 this year, and Pet Simulator 99 was the peak of Roblox. It was the most popular game on the platform besides maybe Brookhaven, and it was doing extremely great. However, as the same thing that happened with the first Bubblegum Simulator and almost every other simulator, people were slowly starting to get more and more bored. As much as they could add new zones and new areas and new updates, it ended up just feeling like a grind. I remember I actually really enjoyed this game until it started to just be too much. They started to add too many things to it. It felt too cluttered. But the thing is, it's pretty much a paradox where if there's too many things added, people get bored of it, but if there's too little, people also get bored of it. And the thing is, Pet Simulator Infinity was very fragile. Its success was holding on by a string, and so when Bubblegum Simulator Infinity released, nobody honestly expected how crazy it would be. You see, Bubblegum Simulator Infinity did something that Pet Simulator hadn't done in years, and that is not be pay to win. Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, which I'm just gonna call BGSI, basically featured barely any pay to win features inside of it. Honestly, pretty crazy because it was actually a very large and very popular game, and they likely missed out on a lot of money by not doing this. There were even YouTubers like LCLC speaking out and trying to beg them to literally add pay to win things for him to spend money on in his videos, because there literally just wasn't enough. And so the game would blow up because pretty much anyone could enjoy it and anyone can play it. However, as quickly as it blew up, its downfall was also extremely fast. You see, let's imagine you're a BGSI player in early 2025. As you're grinding the game, you're getting further and further, updates every single week, and consistent things going on. It's honestly a very fun experience. However, you start to notice in each of your servers that you're playing that there are a significant amount of people you just can't find on the map. And that's the thing. This game, a large percentage of its player base slowly transformed from being normal real players to just bots. There were so many bot accounts infesting this game, it was honestly insane. Upon its release, it was pretty much all real players, but over time you would start to see lobbies feeling more and more empty even though they were full of players. It was honestly really weird to experience because there would be lobbies with literal bots I mean, the footage on screen right now can show you guys there were literal like just fake players grinding out stats in this game. And the thing is, the issue with all these games like Pet Simulator and Bubblegum Simulator is their trading feature. With the trading feature, it basically puts a value on everything. If someone can be like, oh, I'll trade this pet for this pet, then it values both of those pets at like, you know, the same level, that kind of thing. So with an economy sort of building in the game, there started to be more and more of a financial reason for people to play this. I mean, if you were to look on sites like eBay, which I do not condone, by the way, I'm not going to send any links. Do not buy these pets off of eBay. I just want to, you know, preface this. People were trying to sell their pets on eBay. And I'm not going to lie, even though a lot of these were scams, people still would see how much money these pets were selling for and try to make it by grinding out the game. So they would set up a bunch of bot accounts and alt accounts into these games. And that's what has started to become a massive issue on Roblox, is all of these bot accounts and alt accounts. But that's just one of the reasons why the game died. You see, it wasn't just these fake accounts coming in because you know, that would just inflate the stats and make it seem like it's still popular to this very day. You see, the game was consistently releasing updates pretty much every week. However, over time, they started to slow down, and that is honestly what started to break it at the very first thing. Even though the developers were adding cool things and updating it well, when people started to lose that consistency of the updates, people would get bored fast. If you own a simulator, you want to keep your players engaged as possible all the time. And that's one of the dangers that comes with these major Roblox games, is they don't keep people consistently playing. One of the things that I think made the game Piggy so successful was they would take a lot of time to add new things, but it would always feel like something completely brand new and a whole brand new experience for the player once a new like story level came out. That's one of the things that kept Piggy so popular, is everything that we're following on, everything was interconnected. But if you have a simulator and you just keep updating it with boring updates or better pets and stuff like that, it's still going to be the exact same game and barely a different experience. And finally, the thing that truly killed the game was the amount of competition. As you guys may have seen over the past few months on Roblox, we have seen a lot of games prop up to be extremely successful, and ones that many people thought would be undefeated, like Blox Fruits, starting to bleed players. Today, the top 3 games on Roblox are all ones released in the past 6 months: Grow a Garden, 99 Nights in the Forest, Steal a Brainrot. These 3 games are absolutely dwarfing every other game. Brookhaven's the only one even standing a chance, and has less than half of the players of the 3rd most popular game. I mean, these 3 games have taken over Roblox, and I talked about them in my last video and all their ownership and stuff, but the thing is, say what you will, these games are addictive and they invite players to play. One of the things that Grow a Garden is doing so well is they're updating every single week, and it must be a ton of work for the developers, but it brings them a lot of success. The danger is they might face a similar fate to Bubblegum Simulator Infinity. Bubblegum Simulator moved from being just a fun simulator game to a competition, to something where people could gain money off of it and stop having fun, but you know, instead want to just profit off of it. And finally, competition and the fact it just got boring is what really killed the game. As sad as it is to say, I expect to see this happen for a little while longer. Unless Steal a Brainrot and Grow a Garden do some things to severely change how Roblox games are made and how they grow, it's going to be a big danger for them to die out. And here's the thing. While it may be bad that games die eventually, over time, that's just kind of how it works. Roblox evolves, things change, and eventually everything will die out. Brookhaven has been popular for years, but eventually there's going to be a better competitor to Brookhaven that people are just going to choose over it. Eventually, Grow a Garden's going to have a competitor that people will choose over it, or they'll get bored of it and move on to a different game. That's just how it works. So the main point I'm making is you want to enjoy what you have while you have it, and don't expect it to be around forever. Don't take it for granted. While today we see games like 99 Nights in the Forest having 1 million concurrent players, or Grow a Garden surpassing over 10 million on special event days, sadly in a few months some of these games might be, you know, not as popular as they are today. And that's something you just got to enjoy. You got to enjoy it while it's popular, make the most of it, and have fun. Hopefully the developers of these games do figure out stuff to keep the players engaged forever, but don't expect the developers are gonna quit Roblox entirely. Rumble Studios, the creators of Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, are known for making a lot of different games. They've had a lot of games that have been popular for a couple months and then died out completely. For example, if you were to look at their group, you guys would be able to see they've had Mining Simulator 1, 2, Pet Catchers, and Bubblegum Simulator 1, and these games are all fairly dead. I mean, they do not have that many players. I mean, Pet Catchers used to be the largest game on Roblox, or at least one of them, and it's died out now. And I also want to say as well, Bubblegum Simulator Infinity is not fully dead yet. I'm just saying it's pretty much dead because it's down 95% of players since their peak. Honestly, hope the developers keep updating it, and I hope they at some point, add something super crazy that people will return to the game and stuff like that. But sadly, this is just a pattern I've noticed with a lot of popular Roblox games. Again, this is not against the developers of Bubblegum Simulator Infinity or anyone connected to it or the game itself. It's just a major pattern I've seen be an issue on Roblox, and I wanted to explain it because I even used to be a fan of it, but today I just really don't have that much interest in it. That's just for me. I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments below, but either way, that's going to be it. Have an amazing day and take care.